Hello guys, myself Sheikh Basha. I am from mechanical engineer. My pin number is 22955A0314. My tech talk topic for data structure is Graph database for knowledge management abstract. In this presentation, I had proposed a specific graph database application for streamline major knowledge management processes. I had developed a property graph data model to facilitate the process model of knowledge management. Introduction. With the advancement of emerging technologies, knowledge management continues to assume an important role in organization. Big data processes challenges of for organization is collecting and utilizing hung amount of data, but also certain operatives for them to capture and discover new knowledge to facilitate further development. In addition, graph database are particularly useful in handling data elements that have complexion relationship. Due to their unique features, graph database have been widely applied in various areas such as fraud detections, real-time recommendation engines, master data management, network and IT operations, and identity and asset management. Knowledge management process model. Knowledge management can be implemented as a series of process in organization to be considered with the traditional landscape of knowledge management. The following processes moderated by knowledge systems are considered in their research. First, knowledge need to discover either from existing documents has explicit knowledges or has a ticket knowledges for knowledge workers who have the expertise and they captured and created. Second, knowledge must be confined and stored for further retrieval purpose. Third, knowledge need to be transferred and shared. Depending on the nature of knowledge, different processes will be used. Final knowledge obtained by respects will be applied in a specific task, and knowledge used will be assessed for its quality and performance. This is the graph for the knowledge management. Figure 1 shows has data flow diagrams of the major processes the system. Process 1 allows knowledge workers to register their new expertise and update their existing expertise listed in the systems. Data store D1 maintains an expertise directory for the knowledge workers in the organization. Process 2 enables knowledge workers to search for existing knowledges residing in organization, either the explicit knowledge manifested by the document stored in the repro, repository on the ticket knowledge associated with one or more knowledge workers. Keywords and attached keywords are attached to a document or on knowledge workers so the peoples can use them to search for a specific piece of knowledge. Data store D2 and D3 are used to store the explicit knowledges and the main metadata for tacit knowledges. Process 2 and 3 facilitate the matching process of locating and a particular document or a expert based on the original request. Although the system timing is not explicitly made modeled in the data flow diagram, the systems will always try to match the specific documents with the requested knowledge keywords. Only when such documents are not available will the systems recommended that the pointed knowledges experts share their tacit knowledges. External knowledges is not considered in the systems. That is, it is assumed that the system will not restore to external sources for knowledge capture. However, in a further extension was not modeled in the presentation. In this presentation, the system will be able to influence interferes with other external systems to allow outside experts to interact with it. The process model search has the foundation for the development of a data model that can facilitate the required process for the knowledge management systems. The next section illustrate a concept data model based on a traditional relational database approach. Relational data model. Following on the process model, the capitals the conceptual data model can be developed to reflect the situation when a relation database design is adapted to consistent. The data store modeled in figure 1 should be considered in the conceptual data model. This diagram shows the relational data model of the knowledge management systems. Figure 2 demonstrates the relational conceptual data model in which four entities are created to reflect the process facilitation needed. Shown in the figure 1, the expertise intent in the expertise entity stores a list of expertise keywords and their disappearation. The document entity keys, the major characteristics of each document, such as its documents ID, name, description, and type. The relationship among these four entities are quite complex representatively. The implement To implement this conceptual data model in a relational database management systems, all the many to many relationship needed to further reducing, which means additional relational need to be introduced because there are currently two binary and three binary many to many in the RDBMS. It is invented that the implementation of this data model is quite cumbrous, cumbersome. In addition, the newly introduced relational will negatively influence the response time of the currency searching the database because individual table need to be joined to return the relational of each query. The next section describes how a property graph data model can able these potential problems in an relational data model. Property graph graph data model. The graph data can be conceptually illustrated through a property graph data model. The property graph contains all the interconnected nodes used to hold the attributes that describes each nodes. One special aspects of graph data models is that all the nodes can be tagged with labels to indicates their roles in a domain. The labels con- contextualizing role can be affected in modeling the different roles assumed by knowledge workers in an organization, which is an additional benefits of applying graph database in the section. In a property graph data model, relationship also exist but are used to connect nodes like this in a relation data. Nodes relationship node model, relational data model. Relationship can have properties to describe how two nodes are related. However, a relationship in an properties graph is directional. Conclusion: knowledge management concludes to assume an important role despite the changing large scale of technology infrastructures in organization. Emerging technology provides opportunities for companies to manage their knowledge assessed with more innovative and effective methods. Relational database have been the core components of knowledge management systems to facilitate a common knowledge management process in organization, including knowledge captures, storage, transferred, and applications. Due to complex nature of these processes, it is cumbersome to design, develop, and implement a system based on relational database to facilitate them. Graph database can be a good alternative to traditional relationship database on the core components of a knowledge management systems because of their special features. This presentational purposes a specific application of graph database in streamline the major knowledge management process. A property graph data model is presented in accordance with the conceptual relational data model to facilitate the process made process model of knowledge management. Thank you for giving this opportunity to me.